Hi, welcome to the third video talking about the summer 2023 paper for the WJEC Intermediate, and that's the Maths Numeracy. So for each question, please just pause the video, have a go at it yourself, or if you've got the paper in front of you, great, have a go with it, or just listen along and see how I go along with answering every question. First question, we've got a scatter diagram, and we shows the lengths and the widths of some television remotes. So the first question is asking us that two of the remotes have the same width, and we need to write down the widths and lengths of these remotes. So the first thing I'm going to do is just highlight quickly which ones have the same width. So that one's only got one, that one's got one, and you can see here these two have the same width. If you follow that line straight down, you'll see there's a section by here we need to measure, and straight down again by here as well. So that is my first question. So going across, I didn't measure, but this section by here says 3.9. Each of those blocks are with 1 on this. If the numbers are close together, just double check, make sure, but because there's 10 between each one, I knew. Same here, so 18, so 17.9, 17.8, 17.7. And the next one was a nice one, 18.5. Consider the remote with a width of 4.5. Write down the ratio of the width I can write down, to the length that I need to find out. So let's firstly get on our highlighter and find, well, it has to be that one because that's the only one after 4 that's useful to us. That was a very strong green. Was not expecting that. Straight down, I think it's halfway point. It is. Nice and easy. 17.5. Important things about ratios is that they can't have decimals in it. The only time there'll possibly be a decimal is if you're looking at a unit ratio, something slightly different where it's 1 to something, but not recommended. So here in this case, first thing you need to do is just double it. So 4.5 doubled is 9, 17.5 doubled is 35. Just double check, can they go in any other times tables? They can't. So that is that simplified. How is it best to describe the correlation? Well, I can see it quite simply. It's a negative correlation. So negative means that it's like sloping downwards. So negative correlation. And that one's finished. So straight away, if you've done this page, you're on 5 marks. There's 2 more questions, part of this question 8. Let's just have a look. So it says, draw the best line, best fit on the scatter diagram. So this one, we're looking for that negative slope, and you kind of want to get it in between both of the points. Now, I've done this on the computer. It was quite hard to get it where I wanted it to go, but anywhere between the both will be fine for this question. And then it says, is it certain that another television remote with the length of 18.5 will have the width range between 3 to 4? Certain means that it's going to happen every single time. Like, I'd be certain that there's going to be another day. Whereas I can't be certain that all TV remotes with a length of 18.5 have a width range, because we don't know every single TV remote in the world. So I'm going to say no. And I'm going to say a small sample, because I think that's quite enough just to go. And not all fit the trend. Like, you might know that there might be controls that are quite wide, but some quite skinny. We just don't know. Here we go, on to the next question. So we're on question 9 now. Where's that last one with? So there's an extra 2 there. So we've done 7 marks already. So we got a canal boat. It's traveling up and down the canal. Lovely journey it's going. and is being recorded between 8 and 4 p.m. During the day, we've got to work out when they stop for the first time. So if you're not sure about stopping on a, well, not on a canal, but if stopping in general on a time distance graph, you're looking at something that's horizontal, so straight across. And the first time that hits is by here. Well, that was the weirdest arrow I've ever done. So at that point by there, and I could go all the way down, and I'm just slightly draw my line. Wow, that's quite impressive for me because that is so wobbly, but we'll do. So between 10 and 12, well, the only thing in the middle of them is 11. So that's that question done. So you remember you're looking at that stopping horizontal line. So if you learn anything, that's the first stop, okay? It does stop later on by here as well. So it's important that you had to pick the first one. Between which two times were Hester and Walt traveling the fastest? So for you to travel the fastest, your slope has to be the greatest. So we kind of want it to not necessarily be vertical, but we want it to go as steep as possible because your steepness is your gradient. And you know, even if you're going down a hill, you're going to go faster if it's a steeper than if it's a flatter. So the steeper it is, the faster you're going, basically. If we look, I can see straight away that this section by here is the steepest line because that's a little bit flatter than that. That's definitely flatter. Again, that doesn't compare to how quick. None of them do. So I'm going to say this first part by here, which is between 8 and it hits the 3 at 8:30. There we go. Another one marker. What is the total distance? Right. Let's get my little, change the colour of the pen for this one. So the total distance, they start at 0 kilometres, okay? And we go all the way up to 9 kilometres because that's where that line where they stopped happens. So start of their journey, they travel 9 kilometres. Write that down. But then after 12:30, they start travelling again. So they're still travelling, even though they're going back to their starting point, they are travelling. And they stop at this point by here. At that point, you might have to work across, use a ruler in an exam, but that's at 3 kilometres. That doesn't mean we add 9 and 3, because we want to know this distance. Remember, that's 9 kilometres at the top. We've got to know the difference between these two, which is 6k. So 9 kilometres plus 6 kilometres gives us 15. So that's that question done. Now on to part B. Okay, part B, we've got a bearings question. 3 things you have to know about bearings. Bearings start from the north line. They always go clockwise. And the third thing, they always have 3 points, 3 digits. So you can see that 60 has a 0 in front, and that's because it has to be 3 digits. Whenever we get a question like this, we've got 2 important places. So all I'm going to do is draw my north line on both and a line across the both of them. Now, it's important to say we are going clockwise. So if we're going clockwise, we're going right round up to this point. Now, you should know that if you've got half a turn is 180, so we can cross off anything under 180. It's more than 3/4 of a turn, so it means we can cross off 240, and it's not quite near the front of it, so we can cross off 340, so we're only left with the last one of 300 degrees. It is an estimate, but you could use your protractor if needed to help guess it. Okay, next one, we've got some important numbers. Let's get that highlighted back out. I'm not going to use green again because that was crazy. So we got 3.5, where did that come from? 5.6 kilometres and 5.6 centimetres. What is the scale of the map? Amazing. So we're going to start with 5.6 centimeters. Dot, dot, 5.6 kilometers. We're going to divide by 5.6 straight away and get those out of the way. So 1 centimeter is the same as 1 kilometer. Okay. You want this into centimeters. So let's times by 1,000. Let's get it into meters. So there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, just in case you're not sure. So 1 centimeter equals 1,000 meters. From meters to centimeters, there is 100, so 1 centimeter. And we're just going to add 2 more zeros on the end. There we go. So we times in by 100. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. There we go. That's done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, wrong one. That one better. And that question's done. That's another 2 marks. Have a look at this question. Have a read of it, pause it if you need to. I'm not going to read it through it, but I am going to highlight the key things that we're going to probably need for the whole of this question. Right, we got 300 meters in a length. We got 1,000 liters of water, 2 hours to drain the water, and calculate the number of liters drained per minute. Nice. Well, the first one's quite simple, she says. Where's my pen gone? Oh, I changed the colour. Let's go for a purple. Right, we got 1,500,000 is 2 hours. So let's halve that and get 1 hour. So, now I have to get it to minutes. So to get it to minutes, there's 60 minutes in an hour. So we're going to divide this by 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, over 60. That is the same as me dividing by 6, because we're dividing both of them already by 10. I'm going to go to bus stop. Up to you which you want to do. 1, 2, 3, 6, 1. Carry the 1 over. 2. Carry the 3 over. 5. 1, 2. Oh, not bad at all. 1, 2, 2 liters per minute. And I got that from the question. So liters of water per minute. So if you're wondering how do I do the units, that's what I've done. Right, let's look at this question now. So we got calculate the area of the canal's uniform cross-section. Give your answer in centimeters squared. Right, there's a look out. So, there's 1,000 centimeters cubed in 1 litre. So, knowing that bit of information, we're going to times this, which says drawing all the zeros in the world, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, times 1,000, which gives me a headache on drawing how many zeros. This is a question I'd love to just chuck into standard form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Worth counting. Don't get it wrong at this stage. You've got 300 meters. That needs to also get into centimeters. So I'm going to times that by 100. Because it's meters, 2 liters. That rhymed. So 100 centimeters in 1 meter. I'm going crazy. I'm drawing way too many zeros here. Which is so. Okay, done that part. Now, if you think that if we do centimetres cubed divided by centimetres, would it give us centimetres squared? I'm going to see use the same logic and do it on these horrible numbers. So all I'm going to do is write out all of my zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Divide it by my 3, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then I'm going to do the cancellation method. So divide by 10, divide by 10, divide by 10, divide by 10. That's it, can't do any more. So I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, divided by 3, which gives us 5. 50,000. There you go. And that's centimetres squared. Not a great fan of that question. I felt like there had to be a lot of prior knowledge. You have to know that there's 1,000 centimetres cubed in 1 litre, which a lot of people don't generally know unless you're in the cake industry, or not cake industry, but like you're a baker or you're working with liquids quite a lot. 100 centimetres in a metre, you should know. So maybe it's one of those things that if it says centimetres and you know you're working with meters, just work with those values straight away. 10. So again, read the question, pause it if you need to. But I'm going to start straight away here. So we got 58% of the mass is sugar. So out of the 300. So 58%, 300. Remember that of means time, so you might want to write a little note there. How am I going to do this? So 50% is 150. 5% is going to give us 15. 1%, so remember when you find 1% of something, you're just dividing by 100. So that's 3 grams. And remember, if we want to get 8, 5, and we're going to need 3 lots of that. So I'm just going to do 3%. So 3 times 3, which gives us 9. This is all sugar. So let's just write. So I've got 150, 15, and 9. Here we go. Add those up. So that gives me 4. Carry the 1 over. That gives me 7, and that gives me 1. So sugar is 174 grams. 1/8. I'm going to use bus stop for that. So whenever you find an 1/8, you're dividing by 8. And that's go. So 8 into 3 is 0. 8 into 30. So remember, you didn't use the 3, so you drag it across. That's going to give us 3, so 24. That means 6 left over. That's going to give us 7, because it's 56 is 7 times 8. We're going to have to add an extra 0 in here. So if we got 56, we got 4 left over. So that will give us a 5. And then remember your decimal place, because it was down here, it also has to be. So 37.5 grams is cocoa. Next one, milk is 4/5. So milk. Great. So because it's 4/5, the first thing we're going to do is divide our number of cocoa by 5. So using bus stop again, carrying that 3 over. 7, 2 left over, 5. So 1/5 equals 7.5 grams. 4/5, that means doubling it and doubling it again. That's all I'm doing there. So 7.5 times 2 is 15. Double that again is 30 grams. Okay, the remainder. So let's add all those up. I'm running out of space. I mean, I do have that side of it if I need to. I might just use that side. So let's just go 174, 37.5 And milk was 30. Just going to fill in the gaps there. 1, carry the 1 over. 14, carry the 1 over. 241.5 grams used. So now I need to do 300, take away that 2 for 1.5. If you want to, you can do column method or the adding up methods. I know 0.5 will take it to 2. 8 will take it to 50. And then 50 left over. So there we go. And that's that done. Oh wait, no, it's not. Oh my God. Because we want the percentage of the palm oil. There must have been another page for this. Right, percentage then. So 58.5 is what we're currently using out of the 300 palm oil that we've got. So if we put it out of 100, I always use this method. So from 300 to 100, we divide by 3. So we're going to divide the top by 3. And I'm going to again use my trusty side bit that I've got. I hope I don't need it on the next question. 58.5 divided by 3 goes in once, carried 2 over. 28 goes in 9 times. There was 1 left over. And wow. Won't let me write the 5 there. There you go, 19.5. So 19.5%. There you go. Because if it's over 100, we can just say per 100. That question's done. Lovely. It wasn't actually that bad. It was just a lot of your percentage decimals, well, not decimals, but your percentage decimal fractions, that type of thing that you have to practice. So fractions of amount, percentages of amount. And then after that is just adding and taking away. So if you're not strong on those tactics, maybe doing percentages of amounts, doing fractions of amounts. For a 7-mark question, it's worth practicing. Last question we got for this whole video. So we've got a different jar contains 840 grams of chocolate spread, lush. And this includes 20% extra, and we need to work out before. So whenever it's seen before the offer, something like this is for reverse percentages, okay? And reverse percentages means that it wasn't 100%. You can't just divide by 20, because I see a lot of people doing that. So your first thing is write the storyline, okay? So you got 840 grams. And that was when this offer was included 20%. So it was the 100% that you always get, plus the 20%. So that's what happened, which gave us the 840. So we can say 840 grams is equivalent to 120%. I need this to get back to 100%. Now, if you have a calculator, I would suggest to divide by 120 and then times by 100. But because we don't have a calculator, we're going to get it to 10% first. So we're going to divide by 12, because that'll give us to 10%. So divide by 12 here as well. And divide that by 12, it will be 70. So 70 grams is 10%. Now, if we times that by 10, times that by 10, that'll give us our 700 grams, which is our answer. Just make sure it's nice and clear. And there you go. So that is the video done for today, and hopefully that'll help. And if you haven't, follow the other videos, but keep going with your revision. It's so important. Every single time you do a little bit of revision, it's just making that goal a little bit easier to get. Thank you. Have a nice day.